Hey YouTube, I'm Jacob,
And I'm Noah.
and this is
Cabbage
Cabbage
Talks.
Talks. Now, we just recently found out that the first few episodes of Korra and the special presentation of episode 3, The Earth Queen, are going to be premiered this Friday, June 27th on Nickelodeon.
But we aren't going to talk about that now.
And we're not going to talk about how unfair that Nick gave the fandom.
A week to prepare themselves, and we won't talk about the sneak peek of A Breath of Fresh Air yet. But we will link it in the description.
No,
Don't worry.
but we are doing a full show recap / review on Book 1 and 2 of Legend of Korra.
And now, a message from our sponsors. Oh, right.
Alright guys, Book 1, I thought it was pretty good. They start off very very different, is I guess the best way to describe it. I mean, right off the bat, you can definitely tell the difference between Korra and Aang. Obviously, gender, being male and female, age, him being 11, her being 17, and nationality, i.e. their nation. Her being Southern Water Tribe, and Aang being Air Nomad.
Yeah.
The differences are uncanny. She's the exact opposite of Aang, and Aang's the exact opposite of her, to say the least. He's not blunt or to the point, I guess, at all, and tries to do everything to avoid fighting. Korra, on the other hand, does everything to fight, and she's blunt and to the point. I mean, for Pete's sakes, in the first 16 minutes of the show, she's destroyed 4 different shops.
Yeah. I mean, she's like a bull in a china shop, or a Korra in a
Korra in
clock shop.
In a clock shop, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus. And I mean,
it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, and that just goes into like her being introduced to this huge environment. I mean, when she's put into a Republic City, she's there. I mean, she's there, and it's a new place for her. She's not used to it, and she's just excited. And she's just, let me try all the food here. Let me try the food. Let me fish. No, you can't fish. You can't fish
Guys,
in the lake.
I just want you to know, apparently it's illegal to fish in Republic City. Just saying, you can't fish.
You can't fish.
You can't fish.
Don't do that. That's a bad idea. Then we meet these 2 characters, Mako and Bolin, brothers, and they are pro-benders. And, she meets them. Mako's a bit standoffish. Bolin's a little more open. He's, a little more friendly towards her, let's be honest. But
oh, you're the Avatar. I am such a jerk.
So I mean, and that just what he just said. I mean, that plays into the whole love triangle thing that we'll talk about in another video, because we could talk about that.
Because we could talk hours.
Yeah,
hours and hours.
Exactly. So I mean, we'll talk about that in another video for sure. But that also brings in the whole Asami thing, and how Asami is associated with Sato Industries, and that goes into the whole era, the whole. I mean, all these things are going on and technology related, which is fantastic.
And then in between this mix, she gets arrested by the esteemed chief of police, Lin Beifong.
Yes.
Who is Toph's daughter. And it's kind of ironic too, because Toph was one of the last things that she was noted for in Atla, since the fact that she said that she was going to tour, like she was going to explore the world and teach people what she knows, i.e. metal bending. So it's kind of cool to see it come full circle, especially with Republic City almost set in what seems like a 1920s theme, which it's almost very steampunkish, which is a really neat concept, and you can just tell by the way that people are dressed and talk, and like Noah was saying, even the automobiles, they're just like the Model T, which again, it's exactly like the 1920s, and it's kind of cool that they have these metal bending police, because it just adds to that whole feel, and it's kind of cool to see some other justice in a sense, but they almost get in the way, because the Avatar is supposed to be the justice in this, and it's just an interesting outcome.
Yeah, but how good of a justice is Korra? I mean, at least in the start, I mean, she's tearing down buildings and stuff, but yeah.
Hey, she took down.
She took them down. I'm not saying she didn't take them down. She got them. But well, let's not go into this. She joins the Fire Ferrets, and she learns to be the leaf, as Milo said.
No, she is not being the leaf.
She is the leaf. She is the leaf. Calm down. Hey, calm. and that really helps her. And of course Tenzin was a bit against it at first, but I mean, when she, she really shined when she uses those airbending techniques, which I thought was a great moment for her. So then later on, as her relationship with Belen, Mako, and Asami to some extent is strengthened or developing, at least. Strengthened maybe isn't the best word, but developing, yes. Um, as the relationship is developing, they find out about the
Bringing this
equalist
whole
movement.
equalist.
Yeah, and Amon and all that, which opens up this
And
whole new antagonist that we have not seen yet.
yeah, and that's actually an interesting point. Speaking of Amon, in Atla they brought the main antagonist, in the first few seconds. In Korra they waited to the ending of the second episode to bring in Amon. Now, as the story progresses, you'll actually find out that Tarlok is evil when he captures and imprisons Korra. When Korra is in prison, she meditates on these uh, visions that she's having from Aang's spirit. And she's telling him that a man named Yukon, who's like an evil gangbanger back in the day, is actually Tarlok's father. And Tarlok and Amon are actually brothers, and Amon's real name is Molotov. And so they'll talk and explain about that, and Tarlok end up losing his bending. And then it later will end up getting to the battle between Noatok and Korra. Korra ends up loses her bending, but she ends up
Yeah.
gaining the ability to airbend. And then as the actual ending occurs, a really cool line comes up and it says, "When we reach our lowest point, we're open to the greatest change." And that's when that was said by Avatar Aang's spirit, and he gives back the ability for her to bend and all that. So that was actually pretty cool. Overall, I think that it was pretty good. On the cabbage meter, I rated about an 8.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a great season as well. I mean, it's fantastic just because, I mean, I give it a solid 7.5. It may have been a little rushed to me,
But I
but
mean, we
that
can't really
was
argue too much considering they weren't entirely sure that there was even going to Nickelodeon and the people who created Avatar weren't even sure that there was going to be a second.
exactly.
So drink lots of cactus juice. Yeah. Bye.
See you later.